If you have issues with the trimmer of the machine, it is very important to know how the trimmer works for you to be able to troubleshoot the problem. In this video, we will explain how the lower picker works. And we will give you some tips on how to troubleshoot the lower picker of your machine. The lower picker is one of the parts that works in the trimming mechanism of the embroidery machine. And it is responsible to hold the thread for the trimmer to cut it. It is also responsible for the thread length after it trims. It is very important to eventually inspect the picker to see if it is working properly. In order to inspect the picker, you will need to push the picker in and release it. By performing this operation, we can confirm if the picker retracts properly. If it doesn't retract, you will need to adjust it to where the picker can retract after you release it. If the picker of your machines gets stuck inside when you push it in. In some occasions, bending the picker a little by hand may fix the issue of getting stuck inside the rotary hook. The lower picker is controlled by a solenoid, located in the lower shaft of the machine. Every time the trimmer activates, the solenoid brings the picker in. When the picker needs to retract to the normal position, the solenoid deactivates and the picker retracts with the help of this spring. If the lower picker doesn't work at all, we will highly recommend to inspect the connector of the solenoid, or to replace the solenoid for a new one. In order to inspect the connector of the solenoid, carefully remove the cover, located at the right side of the back of the machine as it's shown in this video. If your machine have the 8-inch screen, you will need to follow the gray cable coming from the lower shaft to the drive board located in the other side of the machine. If your machine have the 10-inch screen, follow the instructions of this video. Locate the cable related with the solenoid. Inspect the connection to see is properly connected. We also recommend to unplug and re-plug the connector, just to avoid false connectivity. Then try the trimmer to see if the lower picker starts to work again. On control panel, press the trim icon to see if the solenoid is now working. If is not working, we will recommend to replace the solenoid for a new one. Once you finish testing, place back the cables and replace the covers. Another adjustment the lower picker have is how far the picker enters into the rotary hook. If this entrance of the picker is not adjusted properly, the trimmer will not work accordingly. If the picker enters too much, it could break the pick tail of the bobbin case. If the picker doesn't enter enough, the length of trim may fail. It is very important to make sure that the tooth of the picker enters enough for the thread to wind on them, as it's shown in this video. You can adjust how far the picker can enter here. You will need to loosen the 2 Allen screws and make the adjustment. Once you're satisfied with the adjustment, make sure you tighten the 2 Allen screws. Another adjustment the lower picker have is the height of the tooth entering on the rotary hook area. By changing the height, it may change the length of trim. By raising the picker, normally it will increase the tail of thread when it trims. In order to make this adjustment, you will need to remove the lock. Then loosen this screw. Then adjust the height of the picker as your desire. Once the adjustment is done to your satisfaction, tighten the screw and place back the lock of the solenoid bar. Due to our experience, sometimes you won't see a big change on trim after adjustment. We highly recommend to try changing parameters on main control under the trim parameters, before changing any adjustment on the trimmer mechanism.